All right. I've been seeing a lot of, I guess, FUD and just misunderstandings about the AMC APE unit, and I thought it'd be better just to go and show you guys how you can look it up for yourselves. That's probably the best way. Um, I'll preface this by I think a lot of the FUD out there and misunderstandings is because we're just not reading the documents for ourselves, and I'm literally going to read this in mostly line by line to you for this video. And I'm going to go through it as quickly as I can, but explain it as the best way I can possibly do. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. There are some terms in here that I had to look up, and I would encourage you that if there are things in here that you do not understand, that you go and look them up so that you have a good understanding of what's actually happening with the APE unit. And I'm also going to tell you why, and I'll say this at the beginning, is Adam Aaron listing and giving out the preferred equity unit, APE unit, is preferred stock. Okay, so when you hear the APE unit, it is preferred stock. Okay, it is also any time that he issues a dividend to APE, if you are short AMC, you get to pay the APE dividend. There is no dividend schedule when we look at this 8A, okay? So the 8/4/2022 on AMC Theaters, investor.amctheaters.com, financial performance, SEC filings. If you go to the 8A, the securities registration section, 12B, and I'm going to pull up a PDF of it. Anytime that Adam Aaron issues dividends, if you're short the stock, you have to pay the dividend. And there is a certain dollar amount that they will have to pay every time. So this is genius. Okay, there's a lot of misunderstandings about this. I'm going to try to clear it up as best I can. But this is an absolute genius way to make Wall Street predatory short sellers pay to get your company out of bankruptcy. It is literally reverse shorting. Okay, and I'm going to explain that as best I can. So let's go through it. So right up here at the top, this is the registration for the new class of security. This is preferred stock. You're going to see terms like receipts. Okay, those receipts is preferred stock. Preferred stock does not trade the same way that if I buy and sell shares of AMC or GameStop or any, or it could be Apple, Amazon, they do not go through a market maker. These are book entry settlement, same day settlement. Okay, so there is no monkey business. There is no FTDs. And the liquidity is low because it's not traded on the exchange. It's listed on the New York Stock Exchange, so it can have a ticker symbol. It is not traded there in the same way of higher frequency trading, and you're not going to get like a order completion tab from the market maker. It really goes from broker and to the DTC, and then whoever else is going to end up buying that security. So it's not done on the exchange that same way. Let's go read through the document. Okay, so here's general. Each preferred equity unit represents 1/100th of a share. This, the way it's 1/100th is basically if they ever do a conversion, and it states in here that they have to have an agreement on the conversion of preferred stock to common stock. Okay. Now they can issue at any time new equity units, more of those at any time without stockholder approval, but they cannot convert. Okay, so all the FUD about this is going to dilute, they're going to dilute APE. It does not dilute AMC. If they decide to convert, that's a shareholder approval. Let's keep going. Automatic conversion. There wasn't a lot of yes, this is just saying that you can convert. Okay, under Delaware law, the affirmative vote of holders of at least a majority voting power in the company's outstanding capital stock will be required for stockholder approval of the common stock amendment. The holders of AMC preferred equity units will be entitled to vote on the common stock amendment. If you hold APE units, and I'll tell you this is key, if you just go out and sell your APE units, you're going to lose a lot of your voting rights, okay? And I don't even know if you can sell APE without selling AMC, which would be completely ridiculous to me, because then you could have quote unquote more shares out there in existence than APE units, which is not the way this is designed. Now we know that's not the case, but that's not the way this is designed. This is designed so that if you have a share of AMC, you have one share of APE, okay? And if you have a share of APE, you have to have a share of AMC. You cannot have APE without AMC. That would just the voting rights, everything gets destroyed if that's the case. But that remains to be seen. There are some documents that detail how that will go down. That's a little bit remains to be seen. Let's continue on. Dividends and other distributions, voting rights. This is just more of basically one APE unit can convert into 100 shares of common stock if they convert. I'm really not going to focus on the conversion right now because that's at a later time. What's most important is the shares having to pay the dividend, okay? That is the most important. And that's why this is genius, is the more that Adam Aaron and the AMC executive team issues a dividend to APE, the short sellers have to pay, okay? Literally, they're going to end up bankrolling this company into the black, meaning that they're going to be making profits every quarter because the shorts are paying for them to do well. I mean, this is genius, and it's exactly what Overstock CEO suggested months and months ago, that they ended up doing well against the short sellers. They did not do anything quite like this, but this is exactly what he suggested in the video with Al from Boston. Voting rights. I'm not going to focus a lot on voting rights. You can read this for yourself. The most, I believe, important part in this page, it's only 14 pages, yeah, you can only withdraw whole shares of let's not this this is if the deposit agreement. I'm not even gonna get into that because it's not really effective stockholder approval. If we attain the requisite stockholder approval of common stock amendment, then upon the terms manner described below, then they can convert at 9:30 a.m. on the first business day following the effectiveness of the common stock amendment. Again, more, you got to have approval. And then there's conversion procedures. I mean, this lists out everything, almost plain English, of what's going to happen with these units and how they work. So I would encourage you to read this for yourselves, and I'll put this in the link in the description for you guys to look at. Dividends. Dividends on the preferred stock will not be mandatory. You're not entitled, or holders of preferred stock will be entitled to receive when, as if declared by the company's board of directors or a duly authorized committee, but only stock. Basically, yeah, if you have APE units, you're obligated to get dividends. So I don't know why people would want to sell APE, because then you're not going to get the dividend. That doesn't. So I'm going to sell my APE, and yes, initially it's going to take a very small amount of value from the AMC share will be given to the APE unit, which is preferred stock. That's where the preferred stock is going to get some of its value from. But that value that the preferred stock gets from AMC, again, it has to, anybody that's short the stock will have to pay, they'll have to get the unit, and they have to pay the price, okay? It's not like they just have to deliver a unit. They have to pay money because it has a value. It's going to have value to it on, I believe, the 22nd when this is all done. I'll just leave it on that date. When this is all done, there's going to be a value assigned to that preferred stock in your account. Whether it's $1 or $2, depends on the AMC share price at the time on the, I believe the 19th or 18th, whatever. Let's look real quick. Yeah, 19th. Whatever AMC share price is at that time, the APE unit will derive some of its value from that. The short sellers have to actually pay that value too. Okay, so then again, this is a freaking nightmare for short sellers, and that's what I want you to focus on. Is all this idea of diluting AMC, and that is not on the table for right now. It's not happening. I mean, you can read in here for yourselves. And if you find somewhere that I'm wrong, tell me. Hey, here this line, because that's what this is all about. Voting rights, ranking, liquidation rights. This is basically the conversion ratio. But the most important page is the, let's go, common stock rights, okay, and book entry system. This is probably the page 11, that spelled everything out, plain English, how that stuff works, and how short sellers are going to absolutely have a hard time with this. So, traders. Okay, let's go over book entry system. Preferred stock will be issued in book entry only form to Computershare Trust Company as depositary and sole holder of the preferred stock. Individual preferred stock certificates will not be issued to each holder of preferred stock. They don't need to do that because Computershare has it in book entry form. Basically, you can't screw with book entry form. Okay, this isn't like some guy's database over at some broker, and they're like, oh, well, actually, we haven't settled all these 500 million transactions. We just gave you IOUs. There is no concept of that. This is book entry. And if there's errors or anything like that, everybody's going to know about it. So it's a lot, I'll put it this way, it's a lot harder to play games with this unit in book entry form. And this is also under registration and settlement. Owners of beneficial interest in AMC preferred equity units will hold their AMC preferred equity units through the book entry settlement system of DTC. And if requested by the company or DTC, AMC preferred equity units may be represented by a global depositary receipt, deposited with and held in the name of DTC or its nominee. The AMC preferred equity units of record holders will be deposited with and held in the account of Computershare Trust Company. In order to own a beneficial interest in AMC preferred equity units, a holder must be an organization that participates in DTC or have an account that participates, whether it's one of these banks, and everybody participates with the DTC. That's as far as like, any broker dealer or anything like that. They all work with that. Owners of beneficial interest in AMC preferred equity units held through DTC or its nominee, if applicable, will not be entitled to have AMC preferred equity units registered in their names, nor will such owners receive or be entitled to receive physical delivery of the AMC preferred equity units in definitive form or be considered the owners or holders of AMC preferred equity units under the deposit agreement. It's only Computershare. Including purposes of receiving any reports or notices delivered by the company unless DTC ceases to make its book entry settlement system available as described below. Accordingly, each person owning a beneficial interest in such AMC preferred equity units must rely on the procedures of DTC, and if that person is not a participant, on the procedures of the participant through which that person owns its beneficial interest in order to exercise or sell any rights of a holder. I'm not going to get too wound up in that. If DTC ceases to make its book entry settlement system available, the company will instruct the depositary to make other arrangements for book entry settlement. Okay? If the DTC doesn't want to do it, they'll do it another way with book entry. Okay? This is important. If the AMC preferred equity units are not eligible for book entry form, the depository shall provide AMC preferred equity units in certificated form registered in the names of the beneficial owners. Okay? Basically, if the DTC don't want to do it, nobody else wants to do it, they're going to give you a a receipt or a copy, basically, which is what you used to do. That is DRS. Okay? You used to get a paper receipt. These are your shares. They are in your name. Okay? Right now, they're in Computer Share in another document. They're listed under Seed & Co., but they're in Computer Share's name in its book entry. It's not Seed & Co. under anybody else listed on New York Stock Exchange with common stock. And it's IOUs and who knows what else. This is book entry. That's the really important part. Book entry. Okay. Same day settlement. Okay. Only whole shares. Okay, same day settlement. As long as AMC preferred equity units are held through DTC or its nominee, if applicable, the AMC preferred equity units will trade in the DTC same day fund settlement system. The DTC requires secondary market trading activity in the AMC preferred equity units to settle in immediately available funds. This requirement may affect trading activity in the AMC preferred equity units. The company will pay dividends, if any, on the preferred stock represented by AMC preferred equity units in book entry form to the depository, Computer Share. In turn, the depository will deliver the dividends to record holders, including the DTC or its nominee, in accordance with the arrangements then in place between the depository and DTC. Generally, the DTC will be responsible for crediting the dividend payments it receives from the depository, Computer Share, to the accounts of DTC and participants. And each participant will be responsible for disbursing the dividend payment for which it is credited to the holders that it represents. Pretty much, if you naked shorted this stock, you're literally going up. This is the pounce. I don't know how else to say it. At least to me, that's the way I read this. This is the pounce. And I am now very excited to be a holder of APE and AMC. So, and that is my non-professional, non-financial advisor opinion. Solely my opinion. And you can trade at your own risk, do what you want. Any notices required to be delivered? Okay, let's go through this. Any notices required to be delivered to a holder of AMC preferred equity units will be delivered by the company to the depository, and the depository will, upon the company's written instruction, transmit such notice to record holders. Notices to holders of AMC preferred equity units held through DTC or its nominee, if applicable, will be given by the depository to the DTC for communication to its participants. If the preferred stock are issued as individual preferred stock, individual preferred stock certificates, or the depository receipts are issued in certificated forms, notices to each holder will be given. Basically, if they have to go to certificates, and we will each hold certificates for each of our APE units, they're not going to go through anything. They're just going to give us a notification to us directly. It's not going to be transferred through the DTC. That's for notices. Then there's exhibits, and yeah, that's the end of the document. I would encourage you guys to read through this, but basically the way that I read it is, so here's the key highlights. Book entry form. It is not traded on, like routed through the Pillar binary protocol over the internet, like in the sense of it doesn't use the Pillar trading system the same way that our order flow would go from a broker dealer to a market maker. Is book entry, same day settlement. You have to have the unit, and it's, if you either got to have cash to buy it, so it's not a marginable, it's not going to be a marginable asset. Basically, you can't say I'm going to use borrowed money to pay for this. Yeah, that's all I've got for right now. If you guys have any questions, if you have any comments, please let me know. Either way, I believe this is checkmate, and I am very excited. And I also think that the outcome of this is there's a lot of people that are, I think they're going to try to get you to sell this coming week. And basically, they can close out all of their synthetics, all of the IOUs and massive internal deficits. They would be able to close all that out if people sell shares this week. So I think that's what they're going to try to do. And if not, maybe they'll just hammer the stock and try to get it down to $10. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they can. Based on the chart and not really any shares available to short and drowning liquidity, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think the part of the pounce is that the timeline for all this was so small. I mean, this is literally, they don't even have any time to react, hardly, which is great. So yeah, very, very excited for this coming week and the following weeks. Have a good day. Thanks, everybody.